Hey, this is Meredith's husband. I've got some SEO advice for you, but I'm going to keep it really simple so that you can understand it, so it makes sense, and most importantly, so you can actually use it. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back.
We've been on our summer vacay, I guess. I don't know. That's what I've been calling it.
Yeah, I think that's a good name.
We have a question today.
Yeah, we do.
And it's something that we've talked about before, I think on at least one. We've probably mentioned it a few times.
Yeah.
But it's a good question, so I want to go over it again because I'm kind of surprised. I'm surprised at what I keep hearing out there in terms of the advice. I keep seeing and hearing certain bits of advice, and I'm really surprised that this kind of persistent myth is still going. So
they need to listen to the podcast.
Obviously. But let's first... Let's go over the question. What is the question?
Yes, the question.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll. Is alt tags, to be effective, should be written for accessibility, which is their original purpose, as the primary goal. And from what I know, Google looks favorably on this, not just loading up alt tags with keywords.
And this was sent to us as like, please confirm this. This was not a statement of fact sent to us, but somebody was like, is this true? Do I have this right?
Correct.
And that is true. That is I don't think I probably could have said it that much better. Like, that's exactly right. But the thing that I keep seeing and I keep hearing people say is be sure to tag your images.
100%.
And either directly or implied in that statement is tag your images with your keywords.
Yes.
So put your keywords in your image tags.
Yeah.
So that's at best, that's very outdated. That's from years ago.
Yeah.
More likely, it's kind of dangerous.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Because yes, if you do that, you're stuffing keywords into your website where they really shouldn't be. And then you have a
burrito you can't even eat because it's too big.
You can eat any burrito. Trust me.
You can eat any burrito.
Yes. Keyword stuffing is bad because and I think we've gone over this concept in the past before. A lot of SEO is just not raising any red flags with Google to make it look like you're trying too hard to optimize your website.
It's so interesting.
Remember I know I've mentioned this before, the team at Google, there's a team of people. It's a big, huge team. There's lots of people doing this, but the team that's in charge of determining rankings, which websites are at the top, which are at the bottom, which don't get ranked. The name of that team is the spam team.
Oh.
And their job is to eliminate the spam. It's to get rid of sites that are trying to spam their system. So if you are stuffing keywords into your image tags, you're raising your hand and you're saying, hey, Google, I'm spamming. Please look at me. I'm spamming you.
It's almost like you're trying too hard.
Yes.
And it's not natural. And they really do want things to be, which is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, they don't. Yeah. I mean, they don't want to send their users to websites where some SEO is just trying to stuff keywords in every corner in order to get good rankings. They want to send their users to websites that are really good and well run and have the user's interest at heart.
Yeah.
The way I think about this conceptually, and tell me if this helps, but I'm sure you've been to a place to buy something, whether it's a clothing store. I don't know if you've ever been in one of those.
Nope.
A car lot, no matter what.
Nope.
Imagine, the salesperson who is like just too pushy.
Yeah.
They're just trying way too hard.
Yes, I do.
And they're trying hard to the point where like you kind of don't trust anything they're selling because they're trying so hard.
Yeah. Or it seems desperate or forced.
That's what you're doing when you stuff keywords. Like you're the pushy salesman trying to get Google to rank your site.
Salesperson. Let's just use salesperson.
What did I say?
Salesman.
You know what? I practiced that beforehand and told myself, don't say salesman. Don't say saleswoman. Say salesperson. And I still effed it up.
It's okay. We're only human.
Yeah.
And Google likes that.
I know. That's true. So a couple other thoughts along these lines is people will say, well, some people have asked me, they haven't said, but they've asked me, well, does that help you get your images ranked when you do an image search or you do a search and you see images in Google search results?
Yeah.
Do the image tags, that's what helps you get ranked there, right? No, not really.
No.
That's actually a little more contextual. So
Okay,
what you put in,
that.
yeah, what you put in your image tags doesn't really matter so much as it is what that image is in context. Like what else is on that web page? Is that image right beneath a heading that says
sex?
Yeah. Well, you're not going to rank for sex, but let's just say, you have a picture of an apple and it's right beneath a big heading that says juggling monkey.
Right.
Well, you might find your picture of an apple when you do a search for juggling monkey.
Yeah.
So it's much more contextual. And I have huge clients who
Juggle
have
monkeys?
asked me about, obviously, who do that, who say, oh, we need to tag our images so they show up. And I'm like, well, it might help a tiny bit. I'm not going to say don't do that, but it's not the determining factor.
Yeah, if you're going to put your energy in something, that is not it. My question is, juggling monkeys, are you juggling monkeys?
No, the monkeys
or the monkeys are juggling.
The monkeys are juggling.
Okay, just want to.
I wouldn't juggle monkeys. They don't seem like they would want to be juggled.
No, that's
clever.
why I asked.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is great advice telling you all the things not to do. So I figured I would throw in maybe what you should do instead.
Good idea.
So this is what when I'm writing image alt tags, and I don't do that like every day, but when I do it, I think of the sentence, and I think I've mentioned this in an episode before too. How would you finish this sentence? This is a picture of, and then fill in the blank. Juggling monkeys. In that case, perfect.
Monkeys juggling apples.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's just a short phrase. There's no official length or rule of, words to include or not to include. I wouldn't include stop words because they're going to take up too much room. Stop words are things like a, of, and, the, things like that. Mm-hmm. So just include the important words and
keep it short.
Short, yeah. I mean, it's like because you're going to be words? Limited. Yeah, I would say 4, 2, 3, 4, 5 words somewhere in there.
Max. Yeah.
Because imagine, if anybody were to see this, it's going to be in a situation where images are not loading, and instead this text is loading.
Right.
So images a lot of times are not that big, so you can't fit like a full sentence in.
Right.
It's got to be just a few words, and that's another way to do it. Like try to think if you were creating an image tag for a page on your site, and that site was loading, and the person didn't see the images for whatever reason. They have images turned off, or they're just slow to load, or whatever reason. If that image didn't display, what would be the 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 words that you would want them to see to let them know, hey, there's an image here, and this is what it is, but you're not seeing it. That's the purpose of an alt tag.
I also think if you have a very small physical tag and you only have a very small space to describe your image, or else you'll write it, whatever you write will not fit in the tag, make it fit in the tag. Yeah.
Well, but you don't know. Yeah.
If it's a small tag.
Yes. If it's a small image, if it's a tiny little image, you're not going to have much room. So just keep that in mind also. If it's a full width image that spans the width of your browser window, then you could probably fit more words in there.
But what if they're looking on it on their phones? Then there's a little tiny image space.
It'll be smaller, yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
so I just
I'm not
figured
sure.
There's a tiny physical tag that you can write, and you have to write with a crayon. So not much space.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That sounds good.
Okay, fine, Meredith.
I want to go a little like one step further. And can you ever put in keywords? Should you ever put in keywords? What keywords should those be? How to approach that? Because you can put keywords in there if they are appropriate, but they're not always appropriate.
Which ones?
So, for example, you finish the sentence. This is a picture of, right? If you have a picture on your website on meredithzinnerphotography.com, and you have a picture of a family, or let's say it's a kid.
Yeah.
Picture of a kid.
Yeah.
Would you tag that children's photographer?
No.
No, you would not. If it were a picture of you taking a picture of a kid, then that could be children's photographer.
I think it might be adorable children's photographer.
Well, obviously, the title of the page is adorable.
Right.
So sometimes, if it's appropriate, yes. And if you're a children's photographer and you have a picture of a family, you can throw in some related terminology that people might be using. Family portrait, family, happy picture for a holiday card or whatever it is. You can be a little
holiday
creative.
Card picture because we don't want the four.
Right.
See?
Good call.
See?
Yes.
Thanks.
Thinking on your feet. Yeah, I've seen this and this is something that has been massively abused. I used to be a consultant on small business sites, and I got this a lot of times. One that sticks out in memory was a New York attorney, a lawyer. I'm pretty sure it was an injury attorney. And so he's got, 20, 30 pages on his website and 100 photos, and every single photo had the image alt tag, New York City injury attorney. Don't do that. That is it's better to not have any alt text than to do that, to be honest.
Is it good to vary each description?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
don't repeat the same unless you have the same image repeated over and over.
No,
but that's very unlikely.
So if you have a whole bunch of images of, let's just say, one kid, you don't want to say portrait child on each one. Would you want to take advantage and say kid picture?
Yes.
Instead of photo child.
If are you thinking of something that's like an image gallery? Let's say you have a shoot and you put up a dozen photos on a single page in kind of a gallery format.
Yes.
You would want to do something along the lines of, image 1 of 12, kid playing in the park on a playground or whatever. Indicate to somebody, remember, you're trying to indicate to somebody who can't see those photos what it is that's on the screen. So try to indicate that it's an image gallery and then what it is. Then you could reuse the same term, like a kid playing with his sister, 1 of 5 or 1 of 10, something like that. I had a client who was sued for that reason. There was an image gallery and he didn't tag the images he had in a gallery. So he had a gallery. There was 60 images in the gallery. He didn't tag them because it's a gallery and he would just end up naming them all the same thing. So he didn't do anything. And he was sued by one of these kind of frivolous accessibility lawsuits. And when pressed, we pressed very hard for them to explain why they were. And they said, well, this image gallery, my client can't determine what these images are.
Wow.
So
you do want to put something.
Yeah. You do want to put something.
But you don't want to stuff it.
But don't stuff it.
Yeah.
That is a great tagline. Don't stuff it.
Don't stuff it. Let it breathe.
Yeah.
It's just like if you have a stuffed animal, you don't want to overstuff it because then it's going to look really sick.
Just be a fat animal.
It's going to look miserable.
Fat. Yeah.
It's going to be miserable. But if it's stuffed just right, it's adorable.
Okay, thanks for that.
Anytime.
One other thing to mention: a lot of times on any website, you're going to have some images that are design elements. It's a background image. It's like a vertical bar. It's whatever. You don't necessarily need to tag those if they are design elements.
That's good.
If it's, because I don't know what you could tag them and say design element.
Yeah.
Vertical bar, horizontal bar, separator, whatever it is, background image. You could do that.
Is it worth doing that?
If it's easy to do, I would probably do it. Like if something is a background image, just say background image. Just put something there. There are lawsuits going around. Like people do get sued for this stuff. It's typical. In my experience, like independent professionals are not, at least I haven't come across any of these people who have been sued. Yeah. The people or the companies that tend to get sued are the ones that can easily just write a check for $10,000 or $20,000 to just be like, go away. Like, I don't want to deal with it. Retail shops, event venues, stuff like that. And also, unfortunately, I know the same companies get targeted. They get hit with these multiple times.
Oh, because they got away with it the first time. They probably think like, eh.
Kind of. And there's no, unfortunately, when you're talking about accessibility lawsuits, there's no like official approval. There's no board or anything that you can go and say, is my site approved accessibility wise? There is no concrete answer of yes or no, or what can you do to fix it? There's all this gray area. Yeah. There's things that are crazy. Like, oh, this text is, it's not distinct enough from the color of the background. So it's hard for colorblind people to see. And that's why you're being sued. Like it's all sorts, and like what defines.
And I can understand that if you
have. Me too. Yeah.
But making, it seems like they are taking advantage.
Right. Because how do you say no? This text is a color that is distinct enough from the background. It's perfectly easy to read. And somebody else says no, it's not. Well, there's no right or wrong there.
Right.
So if the person says, well, we're still suing you.
I think people should choose kindness.
That's correct.
I think we should if we all just chose kindness and consideration, it would be a lot nicer.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was a nice kind of segue. Not a segue. What was that? It was a
segue.
We're off topic now.
Yeah, I don't know because that's all I think.
Yeah. Anyway, the point was to help people with their image tags. I hope that helps. I hope that clarifies it. Don't like when you hear that advice, don't think, oh, I have to do this. And also what is kind of implied with that advice is you need to take your keywords, whatever your keywords are, and just spread them all over your site. Like every single page. That's something else you don't want to do. So that you see how that advice is just it lends itself to a situation that's going to actually hurt your rankings.
Right. When people think I'm doing the right thing, I'm putting all my tags in. I'm going to get at this. Yeah. But secretly, they're smothering and stuffing too much.
Right. Yeah. When in doubt, don't try to trick Google. Just try to think, how can I make this site really good for users? If you're making your site really good for users, you're not going to get penalized for that. I guarantee you, if you're doing something that makes your user experience better, Google is not going to take away any rankings for that.
Kind of keep it simple.
Worst case scenario is just won't do anything either way.
Right.
But that's that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
And I hope you stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll be back soon since we're back from our wonderful, luxurious vacation. As more of a staycation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see you soon.
Thank you. We missed you.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, thank you so much for listening. We really hope that you find this helpful and useful. And if you do, what you could do for us as a thanks would be to, drumroll please, leave a review. Yes, everybody says it, I know, but it really does make a difference. Take 3 seconds, leave as many stars, say something really nice about what you like about the podcast and maybe why other people would like it. It would mean the world to us, especially my husband. That better? All right, I'm going to try one where I'm not going to be charming.